Fortnite is the most popular, if not one of the most popular games out there. Some stores even have a battle bus display selling school supplies. I scored tests for a school year once, and when a kid didn't know the answer, they just said something along the lines of, "I just want to go home and play Fortnite." I wish I was kidding. The recently released Apex is starting to gain some traction, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has been out for a very long time, always lurking in the Battle Royale realm. Many companies and developers have tried to cash in on the hype, creating their own Battle Royale games, but few can do it as good as the big three. I'm not personally a huge BR fan, but I am a fan of science. And today, we're going to talk about why people are so easily addicted to these types of games. I should mention that I'm not a scientist myself. I'm just a guy who likes video games and science, and so this video is sort of a mix of my perceptions, my research, and a little bit of my own education. Battle Royales give players things that not all gamers get from every single video game. These are things that are key for the children who play it. The first is autonomy. This means that the player is in control of everything that they do. They can decide where to go, decide what to collect, and decide which noob to pwn first, which the last part is where they decided to kill me usually. Yeah, sure, you have to stay within the circle of life, but you do get a chance at the very beginning of each round before the storm closes in to get things like potions, items, guns, and stuff like that. The second is the ability to relate to other players. When playing duos or squads, you need to work together. When playing solo, you're competing. But no matter which mode you're playing, you all strive to win. You all know what it's like to lose. We're all social beings, and we need to relate to other people, whether we like it or not. Last but not least, competency in the ability to play the game. Most humans enjoy doing something that they're good at, and when that victory royale or that chicken dinner pops up basically telling you did a good job, you feel great. Your perceived competence to play the game solidifies. When you notice yourself getting better, getting more kills than the last game, or surviving longer than last time, it makes you feel good and it makes you push yourself just to see how far you can go next time. The game also constantly keeps you engaged by letting you discover treasure chests and guns laying around as you traverse the map. Just when you think you've found the best gun you're going to find during that round, you find something even better, or at least more interesting. Above all else, my point is that the game is constantly throwing engagement at you, and it gives you this sense of progression, keeping your brain active and, engaged. In Fortnite and PUBG, when you die, you see the health and the info of the person who killed you. You're in a shooting match, you can tell how much damage you did, and a lot of times, the person almost died. This makes you think, oh, I almost had him or her, I'll get them next time, right? And you keep playing because you only lost by a little bit. We've seen this time and time again in mobile games like Candy Crush, ensuring that when you lose, you only lose by a small margin, which makes you believe you can do it if you keep trying. This keeps kids playing far past their bedtimes, constantly wanting to play one more game. Not all BR games are cut from the same cloth though. Apex is a little bit more futuristic and each character has special abilities like in Overwatch. You can use a lot of different types of guns and power-ups, and honestly it can be a little overwhelming for first-timers. PUBG seems to focus more on realism and has a much bigger map where you can use vehicles to get around, or at least kill people like I did. Fortnite gives the player the ability to build using materials that they find. This gives the player an unlimited amount of freedom and imagination. They can build something complicated like a labyrinth or something simple like a small little house. The options are literally limitless with what you can do in this game. When people have this much freedom, it's just hard not to explore all of the options that are given to them. Let's get down to the scientific part for just a minute. We can't talk about addiction without talking about the neurotransmitter dopamine. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that travel from neuron to neuron that tell the brain and nervous system different things. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that basically tells you when something feels good. It's the feel-good neuron. Dopamine can fire off when eating, having sex, or in our case, pwning noobs. Or maybe all three at once, if you decide to do that. When you accomplish tasks, even small ones, you feel good about what you did, right? That's the dopamine firing off between your neurons. Things like getting kills in these games can make you feel good. Any game would. So there's a lot of dopamine firing through between your neurons. Other things like finding chests or avoiding the storm can all assist in dopamine firing. Dopamine also helps the brain stay engaged. The storm forces players to constantly move and be alert. They always know that someone is around the corner to shoot them. This keeps you focused on what you're doing and establishes this mentality that you could get shot at any second. The dopamine is also associated with encoding the experience in your head, so you know where and how you experience this pleasure. This is what allows your brain to know what to come back to. There's a section of the brain that is devoted to mediating rewarding experiences, and this is simply known as the brain's reward system. When experiencing pleasurable stimuli, the brain responds by increasing the dopamine release, and the neurotransmitter runs along what is known as the mesolimbic dopamine pathway. To put it in layman's terms, the dopamine runs along this pathway to certain areas of the brain, including areas for decision making and planning, as well as areas associated with motivation. This little brain experience happens a lot when addictive substances like nicotine are used, but they can also happen when playing video games, and it helps to explain why people get addicted. It does help the fact that all of these spots are connected, so when one activates, the others are most likely to activate as well, or at least absorb some of the effect. Children's brains are wired much more differently than adults. Scientists have found that when experiencing rewarding stimuli, the reward center of the brains of children produce more activity, meaning that it is more likely for them to get addicted when experiencing the stimuli. This would also allow children to get addicted a lot faster. Fortnite is pretty good about keeping children entertained, as children typically have lesser attention spans and matches tend to get over with a lot more quickly. Once you either die or win, just queue up for the next round. It's that easy, the pace is super quick. Okay, my nerdy science moment is over, I promise. One thing to add is that Apex and Fortnite have their Battle Royale modes as free. This means that children don't even have to ask their mommies and daddies for their credit cards. They can just download the game and play. That and Fortnite is multi-platform. You can play it on PS4, Xbox, Switch, PC, your phone, your T980 not that last one, sorry. There is literally no barrier for entry for this addictive substance. They even allow you to play with your friends on different consoles, eliminating you to be able to say, well, I don't want to play because my friend plays on Xbox while I play on PS4. Epic Games has done a great job of taking away reasons to not play the game outside of, I just don't like it. Apex is also on consoles, and PUBG just went to mobile not all that long ago. A lot of what we talked about today can be attributed to video game addiction in general. Hardly any of these things are exclusive to battle royales, but BR games are the ones that do it best. Things like constant engagement that doesn't allow people to be bored, giving players freedom, and allowing players the ability to perceive their own increasing competence in the game are only a few ways that these games keep their audiences coming back. The brain chemicals and the paths that they travel are what allow you to become addicted in the first place, and due to children's shorter attention span and different brain chemistry, they're able to become addicted a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier. This is why battle royales like Apex, Fortnite, and PUBG are so addicting to people. So this was a bit of a different video, and I really hope that people enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe. I also live stream on Twitch, so be sure to check me out on that too. twitch.tv/jdubthegamer. All links will be in the description. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever and whenever you are.